Air Bud could not be a more wholesome movie. Just a cute dog playing basketball. Isn't that fun? He tried a few more sports. I suppose that makes sense. Then he has puppies and they go to space? Alright. And before we know it, the dog can freaking talk. His puppies are getting superpowers and turning into weird cat creatures. Santa's dog dies. Butterball rolls into a tree and dies. Some supervillain kills a whole litter of puppies. And in real life, puppies died while filming these freaking movies. What the hell is the Air Bud franchise? And more importantly, why are there so many movies? Who would be insane enough to watch them all? And which ones are the most entertaining to watch? I think I have all those answers for you, so join me as we watch and rank every Air Bud movie. How many of you out there even know there was more than one Air Bud movie? Combining the original series, its successor Air Buddies, and the Christmas spin-offs, we have a total of 14 movies to cover. Let's not waste any more time then, let's start going through them. But first, I love getting to read out stupid titles of stupid series, so our list of movies today include Air Bud Golden Receiver, Air Bud World Pup, Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch, Air Bud Spikes Back, Air Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies, The Search for Santa Paws, Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups, and finally, Super Buddies. Without further ado, let's find out how this dog can freaking play basketball, and why these movies love funny fart jokes from Butterball. Things will get crazy in no time, but by far the most grounded movie in the franchise is the original, simply titled Air Bud. Our main character Josh just lost his dad in a plane accident. Meanwhile, Air Bud, whose name is just Buddy by the way, is getting abused by his clown owner. Okay, maybe this is a little less grounded than I thought. But this dog can only play basketball because he's raised in the circus. It's a transferable skill apparently. Buddy falls out of the clown's truck and into Josh's arms, who quickly discovers his knack for basketball. Josh tries to make the team, but Buddy kinda just steals the spotlight and everyone loves him. I would go to a lot more basketball games if dogs were playing, I'll just say that. But of course, people have their reservations. It's not fair to have a dog on your team, that's cheating. A dog can't play basketball, that's crazy. So he becomes the mascot until the clown sees him on TV and kidnaps him. In an epic showdown, the villain drives into the lake, allowing Josh to let Buddy be free. As they're losing the big game, Buddy comes to save the day, and they discover in the rules that technically no one ever thought to include dogs can't play. So Buddy destroys some stupid middle school basketball team losers, and Josh wins! This movie has a lot more crazy moments, like the coach chucking basketballs at the children, or how they imply Josh's dead dad is reincarnated in this basketball playing dog, but all that just leads to a pretty entertaining children's movie. And trust me, after watching the rest of these things, it's pretty hard to beat the first. Let's start our list with an S tier. So that was a pretty cute movie, and families seem to love it. Let's make another, why not? Air Bud Golden Receiver evolves this series completely. No more basketball, that's sports for losers now. Josh is a big boy now with a stupid veterinarian stepfather, and he wants to take all that anger out in the manly sport of football. And just like before, Buddy seems to be a natural at it. Wait, this is too much! A dog can play basketball, sure, but a dog cannot play football! I mean, come on! Well, with Buddy on the team, they're set to win the championships, but that's when the evil villains come in. They want to kidnap the Air Bud and put him in their circus. So Josh yells at his soon-to-be stepdad, making him run away. Buddy is kidnapped, and the football team is miserably horrible without their MVP, which stands for Most Valuable Pup, of course. But Buddy and the circus animals escape, the villains somehow drive a van into a lake again, insert Doofenshmirtz's 2-nickel joke here, and the stepdad brings Buddy to the game. But they did a nice twist, taking Buddy out of the game so Josh has to actually do something himself for once in his dang life. They do this by having some massive player just demolish the dog. I suppose you're allowed to tackle players in football. It's sort of Josh's fault for letting his dog be on the freaking team. Anyways, his stepdad drives off and dies in a boating accident. I think Josh is cursed. And Buddy interrupts a professional football game for a goofy little ending. This movie is certainly not as good as the first, but is in no means a bad Air Bud movie. The sport still feels important to the narrative, and it had a good story with Josh and his new dad. It's honestly just so cute seeing Buddy in that helmet and jersey, even if I know there's no way the real life dog enjoyed having to wear that. I think I'll give this one an A tier. What is missing from these movies so far? A British love interest, you say? I think you might be onto something. Josh's sister is playing soccer and he sees this new British girl and just stands and watches her for like an hour. It's insane. Suddenly, at this moment, he decides he's done with football. What a stupid man sport. Josh loves soccer now. So I guess Buddy does too now. Hold on. A dog can play basketball and football, but now there's a dog playing soccer? That's fine, but a woman playing soccer? You think I'm kidding, but this is a genuine line in the movie. They aren't fazed by a dog on the team, but how dare they let a woman play? Anyways, not only is Josh in love, Buddy is too. He finds his beautiful Budess, and they immediately have puppies. Oh, and there's villains in this one too. There's always villains. They kidnap the puppies this time, and when Josh comes to save them, one of the guys says, "Sigh, I always wanted a puppy, and I've never had one." Little Blood's never heard of a pet shop, I guess. Somehow this inspires Josh to pick up one of the puppies at random to give him and then leaves. Like what the hell, dude, but he doesn't even get to say goodbye. They do drive a van in this one too, but for some reason decide to not drive into the lake. And Buddy wins them the championship again. And then Buddy joins a professional women's soccer team and is an incredible goalie, despite not being female or human. This movie is where the cracks really start to show. For starters, they keep recasting the mom and now the stepdad, so every time I'm left getting used to Josh's brand new parents. They focused way too much on the humans and barely at all on the freaking dog playing soccer. They barely even had any soccer in this movie, man. I don't care about Josh's little sister, and I really don't care about the little sister's best friend. I hate Josh's friend, Tom, who gets invited to a party at the British girl's house, so he wears a freaking British soldier's attire. There's so much random crap that drags the movie down, but it's still better than the next few movies. I think it's gotta be a B tier. They have clearly run out of clever names when they name this one 7th Inning Fetch. And fittingly, it is by far the worst movie yet. We start off with Josh going to college, and now his stupid sister is the main character. I guess we should call her by her actual name now, which is Andrea, by the way. This movie is not about a dog playing baseball, it is about some random girl and her friend playing baseball. Meanwhile, 2 creeps go around and kidnap all of Buddy's children. What's nice is the buddies all do different sports. That's a fun idea that's kind of completely abandoned after this movie for who knows what reason. It's also explained that these dogs have a special gene that helps them play sports, apparently. I thought Buddy was just a circus dog, but no, this is supernatural now. They also have a little raccoon that was so epic he got to be on the movie poster. Anyways, out of all the sports out there, it is insane to suggest a dog could play this one. Look, a dog might be able to play basketball and football and soccer, but there is absolutely no way a dog is about to play baseball. There's just no way! And as a tradition at this point, Air Bud gets to play a professional game of baseball at the end of the movie. Air Bud's 7th Inning Fetch is so boring, dude. And it's not just because they changed the protagonist to Josh's sister, it's because it takes half the movie for anything baseball related to start, nothing interesting happens when it does, and then Buddy plays baseball for like 5 minutes in the climax of the film. And little sister's best friend is insanely annoying, can't forget that one. I don't have F tier on our list today, so I guess that means we've got a D tier. If you were hoping this one was better, well, I guess you're right, but there's still so much to complain about. Now, the main character has been recast, which is insanely jarring when little sister's best friend is the exact same. And now her little brother is a main character, and his whole character trait is being obsessed with ice cream. I hate this child. The big conflict here is little sister's best friend moves away, and Andrea needs to save her money to visit her. She walks some dogs for a while until they destroy some priceless china and loses all her money. Then she finds out she can win a trip to California if she wins a volleyball tournament, which is the roundabout way of sneaking volleyball into this movie. There's also this crappy love interest who sucks and shouldn't have been in this movie at all. Their whole team is horrible and there's no way they can win without their MVP though. Of course a dog can play basketball and football and soccer and baseball, but a dog simply cannot play volleyball. It just can't, Nemo! Too bad he's been kidnapped by burglars committing a heist for a big diamond with a talking parrot. This really happens and Air Bud spikes back. Which, by the way, isn't even true because Air Bud does not spike a single time. There's this random old sheriff from the last movie who gets more screen time than Buddy does in the final game. And of course, Buddy is the teammate on a professional volleyball game. How fair. This game is more entertaining than the last, but still so bad. And still has so many of the same problems as the last one. They straight up forgot Buddy had kids, or a freaking girlfriend. The main problem though is that they keep reusing the same formula and they're honestly running out of sports. They could either teach a dog to play water polo or completely reboot the series, so they went with the latter. So let's talk about it and put the final Air Bud movie in C tier. So clearly a dog can play basketball and football and soccer and baseball and volleyball, but now you're telling me it can procreate? Wait a second, they already did that. Those puppies grew up already? This is Air Bud's second litter of puppies? Those other ones died of old age already. They were fully grown dogs the last time we saw them. Well, that's fine. It's not like they can suddenly talk or anything.
Butterball, put a muzzle on it. They'll hear us.
Dudes, if we want to go to the game, we're gonna have to get by Nickel.
Jesus Christ! They gave these dogs the ability to talk only for them to say the N-word?
Mrs. Nickel.
Hi, Mrs. Nickel.
Hello, buddy.
Hi, Mrs. Nickel.
I thought this was a kids movie. Air Buddies completely tosses aside the whole sports idea and instead aims to make a fun little kids movie with talking puppies. These are the main characters of nearly every movie after this, so let's go through them. Butterball is kind of the main one, but his whole gimmick is he eats a lot, and when the puppies pull his paw, he farts a lot. I'm not joking, this happens in almost every movie. Buddha is probably the least developed. He just likes meditating and literally nothing else. B-Dog tries to be hip with the kids using cool slang like off the hizzy and
Dirty good for nothing. Nickel.
Rosebud is just female. They only have one girl dog and that's all they do with Rosebud. And finally, Mudbud, who likes being dirty and rolling around in the mud. How they reuse these same dogs with random character traits for 7 movies is beyond me. This first one doesn't have much of a theme. It's kind of a retelling of the original litter of dogs, all needing new owners because they will burn their house down if they stay together. The villain is some rich kid who doesn't want a lame tiger, he wants a cool puppy who can play basketball and various other sports. So when the puppies run away so they don't get new owners, they act as bait for Buddy to get kidnapped. The puppies go to the sheriff and his deputy Sniffer to help rescue them. It is insane how they make this bloodhound talk by just making him chew on stuff. It's not even a little bit convincing.
I love the smell of bacon in the morning. The smell of bacon? I can smell bacon!
And as long as we're playing clips, I really enjoyed seeing the antagonist get beat up by this motorcycle gang for bullying puppies.
Were you trying to hurt these puppies?
No way!
Anyways, long story short, Butterball gets drunk on wine, and that is not even a little bit of a joke, and then the wine cellar explodes and they all escape. Once again, they feel bad for the evil little fat brat kid, so Butterball stays with him while the rest of their dogs get their new owners. Honestly, Air Buddies isn't that bad. It feels like a completely different franchise to anything we've seen before. It's insane for Buddy to start talking after 6 movies of being a fairly normal dog, but it's at least pretty entertaining the whole way through. B tier. Finally, they chose a freaking sport dogs can actually do. It took them 7 movies to remember dog sledding exists. Butterball, being the fat little piece of shit he is, jumps in an ice cream truck on its way to Alaska. How do you get to Alaska in an ice cream truck, you ask? By being dropped out of the sky from a plane! Seemed like a bit of an overkill, but it worked. They meet a husky named Shasta and this little kid named Adam. He wants to mush, but his dad died in a mushing accident, so Adam has to do it in secret. He also needs 6 dogs to do it, so lucky for him the Air Buddies have just arrived in time. The puppies trained to pull a freaking sled meant for full-grown huskies by, well, let's just watch. He died doing what he loved. Shasta reveals his parents freaking died pulling the sled, and B-Dog just goes, "Dude, we know! Get over already, jeez!"
This is where my mom and dad died. We know, dude.
Oh yeah, and besides all that, there's an entire freaking dog sled race in this movie, where they compete against the main villain, who is a jerk and sabotages every other contestant. It's honestly the best part of the movie though. Well, besides when Butterball rolled down the hill and died. And don't forget Butterball's big stinky green fart cloud. Wouldn't be an Air Buddies movie without that. It ends with the buddies choosing to help a fellow team in need rather than winning the race. What a wholesome ending. Maybe this is a good time to mention the creators of the movie literally killed 5 puppies because they were forced to be out in a freezing Alaska to make this stupid movie. I feel horrible because that is not even a little funny. It is extremely sad that they kept pumping out movies after this, potentially putting even more dogs at risk. This movie is a B tier in terms of story, but for murdering puppies, it's obviously D tier. I feel like I'm going insane. I saw people online say this was their favorite Buddies movie, but Space Buddies is by far the worst and most nothing movie in the freaking franchise. On a school trip, the buddies wander through this building, just randomly finding spacesuits for dogs. Why would you even need these? and then they just walk into a spaceship and launch into space. That should be a much bigger deal than it is. The most these dogs have done is destroy a house and fall out of a plane. They reach a space station, meeting their new friend Sputnik. He looks like the target dog, he is awesome. And also Russian for some reason. There's a villain who tries to kill the dogs the whole time, and they travel around in space for a while, but there's really no rhyme or reason to any of it. Nothing ever happens in space, they just blow up a space station and land on the moon and then leave. So let's talk about the good and bad of the movie. Good things? There's a scientist played by Patrick Starr's voice actor who has a pet ferret, so that's cool. It is really cute seeing Sputnik run to his owner at the end too. Now let's go through all the negative things in this movie. We watched some insane Russian guy dance for a while. The dogs are rendered in horrible CGI on the moon. I can't even believe this is real and was their best solution. It's somehow worse when Butterball is floating outside the ship. Look at this. Let's see, what else? Butterball farts in a suit and it inflates because of course it does. Him farting in a suit is a crucial plot point to saving their lives, dude. What else can I say to convince you? D tier. There are somehow 3 Christmas movies in this series, and 2 are back to back. Can we talk about how often Christmas is in danger in Christmas movies? Christmas is somehow in danger 3 times in the Air Bud series. For some reason, Santa Claus and his dog Santa Paws need this icicle to stay alive. The whole movie revolves around an icicle. Anyway, Santa Paws has a puppy named Puppy Paws who gets sent to hang out with buddies and learn the true meaning of Christmas. That means he goes to each buddy and wrecks their houses. Oh yeah, and this terrible animation of B-Dog breakdancing, how could I forget? We got that one guy from Seinfeld as an elf, we got Christopher Lloyd as the quote-unquote villain, and we got a bunch of crappy songs from random characters like this God-loving puppy named Tiny because for some reason all the Christmas movies are musicals. I will probably not talk about the music again in any of them because, trust me, they are all bad and only serve to prolong the runtime. The best part is Christopher Lloyd though. He's a dog catcher who hates Christmas. But by the end of the movie, he learns to love the dogs and becomes friends with the main family of the movie. He talks to an elf dog, by the way. A dog talks to a human in this movie. Anyways, Santa Paws uses the buddies as reindeer to deliver all the presents, resulting in quite possibly the most cut and dry holiday movie featuring dogs possible. It has enough alright moments that I'm willing to give it a C. Surprisingly though, they do get better. It might just be me, but I genuinely enjoyed watching their Christmas spin-off, The Search for Santa Paws. In the origin story for Santa Paws, who is a stuffed dog who comes to life thanks to the Christmas icicle, Santa gets freaking ran over.
Get him! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go!
And then gets robbed by a homeless guy who takes his special Christmas icicle necklace that keeps him alive. So the movie cycle between Santa dealing with amnesia and slowly dying of old age, Santa Paws lost in New York, a struggling toy store, and a group of orphans with an evil caretaker. Now, there's still a lot to hate about this movie. Like I said before, all the Christmas movies are musicals, and the songs are, once again, just horrible. It's also insanely dark and honestly a little scary for children. There are reviews of this movie from horrified parents who just wanted to show their kids a fun little dog movie. From Santa Paws losing his necklace, becoming a petrified taxidermy, and getting burned alive in a furnace, to Santa passing out, going to the hospital, and needing his fake dog to sacrifice himself to bring Santa back alive, there is a lot of death in this movie than your typical Air Bud film. When a kid says,
Is Santa going to die?
then you know things are serious. But don't worry, the orphans get adopted, the toy store is a success, and Santa survives. He even sheds a single tear on Santa Paws' corpse, instantly aging to a fully grown dog. Why? I'm not really sure, but this movie is a roller coaster and it's so insanely entertaining because of it. It's an ironically fun movie for sure, but you're guaranteed to have fun watching it with some friends. A tier. The craziest bunny movie by far is Spooky Buddies, and it becomes the most enjoyable movie to watch because of it. We start the movie with the main villain murdering 5 dogs. Maybe an homage to Snow Buddies, huh? Pretty convenient, I must say. They are sacrifices to the Halloween Hound, who sucks up their souls. One escapes though, becoming a ghost trapped in this old house. Now, this movie gives way too much focus to the main kids in the movie, and the stupid Alex Hirsch sheriff, but it's kind of necessary for the story, so I'll allow it. One of the kids steals the evil warlock staff. The warlock is resurrected and turns 2 kids into rats, which is awesome. Alex Hirsch gets turned into a monkey. W. Sniffer and his new dog named Zelda get their souls sucked. The ghost dog is resurrected and then sacrifices himself again, getting sucked twice in one movie. And now the Halloween Hound has control over the entire town and is about to kill the buddies too. And you know what saves the day? Butterball eats pickled eyeballs and farts so obnoxiously that the Halloween Hound sucks himself! How has farting saved the day twice now? This movie is awesome for so many reasons. The crappy Casper the Ghost knockoff, the insanely over-the-top villain, so many dogs and children getting killed or turned into animals. It's the best! Watching this Halloween Hound open his gaping maw is actually kind of scary, and I think some kids got traumatized from this movie. And obviously that's a bonus! Remember, no Air Bud movies are going to be good. As long as you have a fun time watching them, that's really all you need. Spooky Buddies is the best Buddies movie, so I think I have to give it an S tier. I don't understand why Treasure Buddies even exist. I've never cared for media about Egypt or the pyramids very much. There's not a whole lot of new stuff you can do with it after a while. I would have much preferred a pirate movie or something, that's all. Our main characters this time are Bobby and Babu. We really needed a monkey as our unreliable narrator. Mudbud and his owner's grandfather are the main buddies for some reason. They go to Egypt to look for the tomb of Cleopatra. It somehow took 12 movies for cats to become villains in a dog franchise. The buddies get shipped to Egypt in a crate of TNT, and when they arrive, Butterball farts so horribly that the people there think they're about to get bombed. What are Butterball's owners feeding this thing? The dogs meet this camel who has the most unfitting voice possible.
There's some camel poop on the ground right there.
And its whole purpose is to spit on people. Wonderful. At the climax, they traverse this tomb where multiple goons are killed off, and B-Dog gets the most uncanny look out of anything in the series so far.
There's no way I just meowed.
This movie is mostly just boring and often just annoying. These monkeys are constantly shoved into every scene to narrate it for no reason. This is just a waste of my time. Why do we need a narrator at all? The humans are way more important than the dogs, which is never a good thing, trust me. It's one of the most forgettable Air Bud movies, and I can't think of a reason anyone should ever watch it. D tier. Somehow they've made 3 fairly entertaining Christmas movies. Just like the original Air Bud, they need to have puppies, so Santa Paws squirted out 4 kids of his own. Look at their weird mouse on the cover of this movie, what the hell? They're given these weird names like Hope, Jingle, Noble, and Charity, despite none of them really fitting their titles. Charity is selfish, Jingle sucks at singing, and they're kinda supposed to have arcs that make them fit these roles by the end of the movie, but they sort of just gave up on it completely. Anyways, they visit a town where all they care about is Christmas, and since they're naive little puppies, they just use their little icicle necklace to grant the wish of everyone they meet. Well, one kid's mom just died, and he's really mad about it, so he wishes everyone hated Christmas, which is such a funny idea. These people we watch be all jolly and kind, so they get really mad and they all start yelling at each other, and it's awesome. Mrs. Claus comes to save the day, but her reindeer are found and she goes to jail. How many kids' movies have Mrs. Claus in prison? Anyways, that's really the only fun stuff that happens in this one. Some little girl sings a song and fixes everything, and Mrs. Claus and the elves smash the prison wall open, so that doesn't even really go anywhere. It's not on the same level as the others, but I'm still surprised how they managed to make another okay Christmas movie in the Air Bud franchise. B tier. The last film in this series is a superhero movie, which honestly is probably just as good as some of the modern Marvel and DC movies. Super Buddies beats the Eternals any day. Also, does anyone remember when these movies were about a dog playing sports? Me neither. So this movie focused on Butterball's owner, the rich kid, who now just lives on a farm with his Pixar grandpa.
Well, I hope you superheroes haven't had too much cake. I think it's time for old grandpa man here to take care of some farm chores.
And he's kind of just a nerd who likes superheroes. The kid's favorite comic book stories are somehow real, based on an insane looking alien who disguises himself as a dog and fights crime. The alien's power comes from these rings him and Spyron, which Shang-Chi totally ripped off by the way, giving each of the buddies their own powers. Butterball gets super strength, Buddha gets mind control, Rosebud gets super speed, Mudbud gets invisibility, and just watch what B-Dog gets.
Baby, slam a jam a dunk.
There's an evil alien too, with a monkey sidekick. Wait a second, is that Babu? No, you idiot, that's clearly Monk E. Let's see, what else? Alex Hirsch gets body swapped with a pig, but then the alien takes his body so they don't have to waste money on the CGI for them anymore, and then they have a big fight and he almost wins, but they give him some fake rings and he blows up and dies. My alien goddess comes down from the heavens, and that one guy from Hannah Montana shows up, and that's about it. I know I basically just stated a bunch of things happening, but honestly, I did it in a more natural way than the damn movie did. It is all over the place, and it's so bad it's funny at times, but mostly it's just bad, and that's all I can really say about it. which is a pretty fitting end to the Air Bud series, I must say. The movie ends with a hopeful "to be continued," by the way, which is hilarious because it's the only movie to do so and there aren't any more movies. It feels right to end our list with one last C tier. So, are the Air Bud movies any good? No, of course not, and I'm not sure anyone would have expected them to be. Even the earliest movies where a dog was playing basketball or soccer were never something special, they just had a cute dog. These movies have always just been about cute dogs. But of course, they only got more insane as time went on. Somehow every movie has had some sort of villain, but they become full-on supervillains by the end of it. Honestly though, children deserve better. I think most kids would find these movies entertaining because some of them even I find entertaining, but there's just no substance to any of these. The characters don't grow, they have zero character. There's singular stereotypes that they fit into these wild and wacky narratives that have nothing to do with dogs who play sports. The creators of these movies definitely thought of concepts and cool titles before actual stories. I'm sorry if you grew up loving these movies, but at least some of them were alright children's movies, right? I sure will miss you, Buddy, Butterball, Mudbud, Rosebud, Buddha, and no one else! Thank you all for watching, and let me know if you agree with my list. I hope you don't mind me completely randomly making this video today. I'm sorry, it's just so random. Thank you to my members who make videos like this possible. If you want to be my little Airbud, then please consider becoming a member of the channel today. Thank you Patrick Barjan, Dojo Master, Keep, Gall Guy, Jeff the Legend, Cheaper Yang, Test Monkey, Marie, Callum Ford, Perscuban Checky, Mr. Odell, Timur Kurinov, Aaron the Ghoul, Freakish Smile, Bordo de Bordo, Pika Girl for You, Miku, Geminot, Lewis, MD Switchy, Omegon, Chris Out Creations, Jonathan Biscoff, Lavatane, Green Man Yeah, OK, Skibbity, McCrazy, G Baldwin 005, and Mr. Pete Gaming. I wonder what happened to the original Air Bud in canon. He sort of just disappeared after the first Air Buddies. Do you think he died? Do you think he went off and had even more kids and those kids had a bunch of even crazier adventures? I personally think he went off to run for president. I firmly believe the people of this universe would vote Air Bud into office. I know I would. And then play a clip of the grandpa talking. There's singular stereotypes that they fit into these wild and wacky narratives that have nothing to do with the dogs.